Are you frustrated with your slow computer and outdated Windows? Installing Windows from a USB drive is like having a magic key to refresh your computer. It's a powerful way to install or reinstall Windows. This is especially helpful if your computer is old or your current Windows is acting up. Using a USB drive is better than using disks. It's faster and more reliable. Plus, most new computers don't even come with disk drives anymore. In this guide, we'll walk you through each step. We'll use simple language so you can easily follow along. Get ready to give your computer a fresh start. Before we start, we need a few things. First, you'll need a USB drive. Make sure it has at least 8 GB of storage. You'll be putting the Windows installation files on this drive. Next, you'll need to download the Windows ISO file. This is basically a digital copy of the Windows installation disk. Finally, we'll use a tool called Rufus. It's free and easy to use. Rufus helps us put the Windows ISO file onto our USB drive in a special way that makes it bootable. We'll talk more about that later. Downloading the Windows ISO is like getting the instructions to install Windows. You can download it directly from Microsoft's website. Just search for Download Windows 10 ISO or Download Windows 11 ISO, depending on which version you need. Make sure you choose the right version for your computer. You can find out if your computer is 32-bit or 64-bit in your computer settings. If you're not sure, download the 64-bit version. Once the download is finished, keep the file in an easy-to-find place. We'll need it for the next step. Now it's time to use Rufus. This powerful tool will help us create a bootable USB drive with ease. Remember, this tool helps us put the Windows ISO onto our USB drive, making it ready for installation. You can download Rufus from their website for free. It's a small, lightweight application that packs a punch. Once you have it, open it up. The interface is user-friendly and straightforward. First, plug your USB drive into your computer. Make sure it's at least 8 GB in size for the Windows ISO. Rufus will automatically detect it. You'll see your USB drive listed in the device drop-down menu. Then click on the button that says Select and choose the Windows ISO file you downloaded earlier. This is the file that Rufus will use to create the bootable drive. Make sure the other settings in Rufus are correct. These settings ensure compatibility with your computer. The most important setting is Partition Scheme. This determines how your computer will read the USB drive. Choose GPT if your computer is new, made after 2012. GPT is the modern standard for partition tables. Choose MBR if your computer is older. MBR is the older standard but still widely used. Double-check all the settings, then click on Start. This will begin the process of creating your bootable USB drive. Rufus will warn you that everything on your USB drive will be erased. This is a crucial step, so be sure to back up any important data. Make sure you don't have any important files on it, then click OK. This confirms that you are ready to proceed. Rufus will now start creating your bootable USB drive. You can monitor the progress through the status bar. This might take a few minutes. The time required depends on the speed of your USB drive and computer. Once it's done, your USB drive is ready to install Windows. You can now use it to boot your computer and start the Windows installation process. Section 5. Entering BIOS to enable USB boot. This is a crucial step if you want to install a new operating system or run a live USB environment. Now, we need to tell your computer to boot from the USB drive. This allows the computer to read the operating system or software directly from the USB. To do this, we need to enter the BIOS or UEFI settings. These settings are like the control center for your computer's startup process. These are special settings that control how your computer starts up. They determine which devices are checked first for bootable media. You can usually enter the BIOS by pressing a key repeatedly while your computer is booting up. Timing is key here, so be ready. The key could be F2, F12, Delete, or ESC. It varies depending on the manufacturer of your computer. Look for a message on your screen during boot that says something like, "Press key to enter setup." This message usually appears for just a few seconds. Once you're in the BIOS, look for a section called Boot or Boot Order. This section allows you to prioritize which devices your computer should check first for bootable media. This is where you can choose which device your computer boots from first. You might see options like hard drive, CD, DVD drive, and USB drive. Use the arrow keys to select your USB drive and move it to the top of the boot order. This tells your computer to check the USB drive first when starting up. Save your changes and exit the BIOS. This is usually done by pressing a specific key, often F10, and confirming the changes. Your computer will now restart and boot from your USB drive. This means it will load the operating system or software from the USB, allowing you to proceed with your tasks. Section 6. Beginning the Windows installation. This is a crucial step in setting up your computer, so follow along carefully. When your computer boots from the USB drive, you'll see the Windows setup screen. This is where the installation process begins. Follow the on-screen instructions to begin the installation process. These instructions will guide you through each step, ensuring you don't miss anything important. You'll be asked to choose your language, time zone, and keyboard layout. Make sure to select the options that match your preferences and location. You'll also need to agree to the license terms. This is a standard procedure, so read through the terms if you wish, and then click Accept to proceed. The next step is to choose where you want to install Windows. This is a critical decision, so take your time. You'll see a list of available drives. Be careful here. Selecting the wrong drive can lead to data loss. If you accidentally choose the wrong drive, you could erase your files. Double-check to ensure you're selecting the correct drive. If you're reinstalling Windows, you can usually just format the drive where Windows is currently installed. This will prepare the drive for a fresh installation. This will erase everything on that drive. Make sure you have backed up any important data before proceeding. If you're installing Windows on a new computer or a new drive, you'll need to create a new partition. This partition will be where Windows is installed, so ensure it's properly set up. Section 7. Troubleshooting common installation issues. Sometimes things might not go as planned during the installation. Here are a few common issues and how to fix them. No bootable device error. This means your computer can't find the USB drive. Make sure the USB drive is properly plugged in and try booting again. You might need to try a different USB port. Windows installation freezes. This could be due to a faulty USB drive. Try recreating the bootable USB drive using a different USB drive. Error messages during installation. Take note of the error message and search for it online. Microsoft's support website can be very helpful. Don't panic if you encounter an error. Most installation issues can be fixed with a little troubleshooting. Section 8. Finalizing your Windows installation. Once the installation files are copied, your computer will restart. You'll then be prompted to personalize your Windows settings, like creating a user account and choosing privacy options. During this phase, Windows will also install drivers for your computer's hardware. This ensures everything works properly with your new Windows installation. Finally, you'll reach the Windows desktop. You've successfully installed Windows from a USB drive. Congratulations! Section 9. Conclusion. Enjoy your fresh Windows installation. Installing Windows from a USB drive is a valuable skill to have. It allows you to reinstall Windows, upgrade to a new version, or even install Windows on a new computer. Remember, Always back up your important files before reinstalling Windows. And don't be afraid to seek help online if you encounter any issues. Now that you have a fresh Windows installation, enjoy the speed and stability of your revitalized computer.